Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch was launched in 2022, part of a series that started in 2011. It is a 5270P-014. Of course, this watch is the latest in a long line of Patek Philippe Perpetual calendar chronograph wristwatches dating back to the 1941, 15, 18. 2011, we got the 5270, and then in 2022, we got this distinctly different version with no tachometric scale on the dial of green gradient lacquer in a platinum case. And you know that because, like modern platinum Patek watches, a top Vesselton diamond between the lugs. 41 millimeters in diameter. The watch is 12.8 millimeters thick, 49.6 from lug to lug, with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. You may wonder, is it heavy? It is. Gratifyingly massive in platinum. Sammy, the scale comes in, and then there you go. So it is approximately 136.21 grams. So well over a quarter pound for those of us in the old colonies. Taking a look at the watch now, you can see, by the way, the key thing here is this little plastic shroud. If you're ever going to weigh a watch, always make sure you have a plastic buffer. Easy to wear, very comfortable, flat enough to fit under a cuff. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, and I could wear this, though I will opine that if your wrist is smaller than mine, go with a 5970. If your wrist is smaller still, go with a 3970, because this is pretty broad. 50 millimeters lug to lug is large, and this watch is basically that. It will slide under a sleeve, though, so it is a dress watch, and the further away you get, the better it looks in proportion to the rest of a man's arm and hand, but 16 centimeter wrists and up. The strap is by Delugs, and you know Delugs is moving up in the world when we decide specifically to put a 5270P on a Delugs strap. This is Lizard. It has a green contrasting stitch. You can see black with green. Sheer cut in profile and lacquered for refinement. On the bottom, a wonderful suede, no crimping, no gouging. And then the buckle of platinum to match the watch, Calatrava Cross, the logo of the manufacturer. And then inside, we've got this little radial spring that sockets and closes quite securely to give these Patek clasps a bit more purchase and security than a typical friction fit. You can see the case is pretty nuanced. We've got fluting on the lugs. The lugs are dramatically stepped relative to the case. We have a case band that expands out from the case back and then steps inward towards a flanged and then concave bezel profile designed to visually thin the watch. And then we have vintage-inspired rectangular pushers satinated on their top and bottom faces, polished on their outer faces. Push-down crown. We have a, let's see if I've wound this. Have I not? Push-down crown, 30-meter water resistance, and a quick note about Patek Philippe and 30-meter water resistance. I understand they're now describing that as a true 30 meters. I still don't recommend you swim with a watch like this. Now you can see in action, super crisp column wheel feel for this chronograph. It is column wheel and lateral clutch, very traditional. You can also see that we do have a hacking seconds function. Perpetual calendar. Day, date, month, leap year phase, moon phase. You don't need to correct the calendar, provided the watch keeps running until the year 2100. The moon phase, with a 135-tooth perpetual calendar style gearing, needs to be corrected once every 122 years. You can see that we have a little day-night indicator right there. The little blue circle lets you know when it's night, and so you know when not to use the pusher adjusters on the case flank to correct the calendar. Don't do it when this little circle is blue, and you can see as we transition to 6 a.m. and then 7 a.m. and then into the morning and the midday that the AM PM indicator now indicates that it's daytime and you're perfectly safe. A couple of things to note. One of the characteristics of caliber 29535 is that the centers of the jumping chronograph minutes and the running seconds are actually slightly below the cannon pinion. A little quirk of these. We have white gold hands, which you can see are triple faceted, and white gold indices. These elements will not tarnish or oxidize with time. It is a lacquer dial. There's some fingerprints here. Let me get those off. It is a green gradient lacquer, and what I think really works well here is that Patek decided to dispense with the tachometric scale, a contentious element since the very beginning. When the first 5270 came out in 2011, people said, well, where's the scale? Then the scale was added. People didn't like the look of the scale. The scale was pared back to eliminate the so-called chin. Some people were happy, some people were angry. This is a cleaner look. No tachometric scale, so it does away with a little bit of the vintage, evocative, mid-century aesthetic, but it's a less crowded dial, and I actually think this is quite successful. Rolling over now to the case back, 29535 PSQ Petite Second Quantième, manual wind, 4 Hertz, overcoil, hairspring, 6-position adjustment, gyromax style free-sprung balance, instantaneous jumping minute, column wheel with lateral clutch, 65-hour power reserve, perpetual calendar, moon phase, and the hacking function you just saw. We have engine turning in several different sizes, polished screw heads with chamfered slots and circumference, Côte de Genève across the brass bridges, satination across the chronograph parts where you don't see mirror polished steel. The steel has been beveled, as have the bridges, but the steel generally satin brushed on its top or mirror polished. The capped column wheel, a Genevan element that originally had a functional purpose. A shocked chronograph might see the levers and horns pop up out of the crenellated towers and get desynchronized or ejected from the column wheel altogether, so a cap was added. Later on, the cap became a canvas for decoration, including inner and outer beveling and black polish. We have golden chaton-style cups for the pivot jewels, a nod to the pocket watch era, when that's how a jewel would have been set into a bridge or a plate. You could see that we've got countersinks for screws and jewels that are themselves internally beveled. And then we have 33 jewels, as you can see right there, and the 29535, bigger than the previous Lemania-based CH2770, and the idea is just that it better fills a large case back. You can see once a minute this little ratchet and pawl will jump for the instantaneous jumping minute display, and my goodness, does this column wheel feel reward. It's a tactile pleasure. Also, this movement, which is large, beautifully finished, and a manufacturer caliber from Patek, I should say, it's as well decorated as any Longa 951 or 952. So while it's a very different style than a Glashütte chronograph movement, it is not a lesser execution. Patek, in the modern era, goes blow for blow with Longa on both sides of these spectacular timepieces. One more element that I'd like to add is that here, because these are low-volume flagship watches, Patek can take its time making the cases, and the cases involve welding the lugs to the case and then filing laboriously and slowly to create this super slow break between the lug profile and the case band. That kind of welded lug manual case construction and finishing is what you expect on the best of the best handmade watches, and this certainly delivers. So if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.